The fourth annual DNA Technology Conference will be held June 27th at the Meat Animal Research Center near Clay Center. We recently talked with UNL Extension beef genetics specialist Matt Spangler about the conference, how DNA technology has progressed, and why it's important to the beef industry.
For the beef cattle industry, it allows us to identify young sires that maybe haven't produced any progeny yet, that actually excel what our expectations are. So it's a way to add information very early in an animal's life and then be able to make more informed selection and breeding decisions.
So in a way, you're looking at the possibilities of what the genetics can do in the future?
That's exactly right. As we get more information, our confidence in how good or bad an animal is increases. The problem is getting that information takes a long time. With DNA, we have the ability to garner additional information much earlier in life. That speeds the rate at which we can make genetic change, and it also enables us potentially to make genetic selection decisions on traits which we really can't measure. Things like feed intake or feed efficiency, disease susceptibility, some of those that are economically relevant but expensive to measure.
How long has the technology that you're using today been around? What's the history of the DNA technology?
DNA technology in some form or fashion has been around for decades. However, it's evolved considerably since then. We started out with what we might call candidate genes, maybe just a handful of markers, and now we're using in the beef industry what we call 50K based genomic predictions. So that's information based off of 50,000 genetic markers, and we're beginning to sequence animals, getting millions of markers across the genome.
How is it done? Because you can say, well, we have this, this, and this, but how is it actually accomplished?
Exactly. So a producer can collect a DNA sample on an animal. It could be hair follicles, blood, semen, an ear notch. DNA is extracted from that, and then we genotype them with an assay, and the assay that I'm talking about would give us 50,000 reads or 50,000 data points, and those are genetic markers across the bovine genome.
How widely used is it across the state, across the country?
It's beginning to become used more heavily. In the research community, it's used considerably, but some breeds now, such as Angus, Simmental, Hereford, Limousin, other breeds are actually incorporating this information into their EPDs, and so we're seeing an increase in the frequency with which it's being used in the industry.
Large cattle producers and small cattle producers alike?
Both can benefit. We really see the initial onset as being nucleus breeders, those that produce seed stock to go out and breed animals. But actually the end user becomes the commercial cattleman that's buying bulls that have increased information. So it impacts the beef industry at large.
Let's talk about the conference. It's coming up on Wednesday, June 27th in Clay Center. What's going to be covered here? Why is it beneficial for producers to go?
We're going to cover a wide array of things. Because this arena is far from stagnant, we do this annual meeting and try to update producers. We'll talk about what breeds are using this information, how they're using it, what traits like feed intake and feed efficiency, how that might be impacted in the future, and then novel things such as a new deletion that was recently discovered that impacts fertility in beef cattle. And then also a crux of this technology has been price, but we're going to share some new research with you that has dramatically decreased the price of genotyping several-fold. And they're short presentations meant to benefit the academician, but particularly producers. We get in, tell you what you need to know, and then allow some time for Q&A, and I think it's extremely beneficial.
Again, the conference is Wednesday, June 27th at the Meat Animal Research Center near Clay Center. Registration is needed by June 11th. You can find out more information on the beef.unl.edu website.